We're going to continue our discussion of paying workers and employees on time. And we were learning these dinim in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. The Alter Rebbe has some halachos, some choshen mishpat. And just to recap what we learned last week, we're going to be learning in Ritz Hashem Sif Tezvav, which is page Kuf Nun Gimel. You have it in Sif Tezvav. You know which section? Hilchos She'elos Chirus V'Chasima. It's the last section. Sif Tezvav. I have it here. Hilchos She'elah. A little further. Weiter. More.
Okay, you want the book? It's easier to read from the book.
Next one.
You want the book? It's easier to read from the book.
No, it's the last thing. The last
Page 1778. Okay, it's easier to read.
Yeah. So we learned 2 days, not last week, we learned 2 days ago, Monday night, that there's a person is over and a loisasa and an essay for not paying on time your worker. This is whether in Chutz La'aretz, at Yisrael, the same halacha. However, some say that this does not apply to Sfirus Karka.
It's only if he has the money, also. If he doesn't have the money, there's
the Sfirus Karka, right. Now why? Because it says Ba'artzecha, things that are on the land, but not Artzecha, not the land itself. It's such a shita. Now,
talk about you're allowed to give a toy a skill and not to sell not karka or patrick.
Now, what do you have to pay? We said Api Torah works if you're a Schir Yoim, you work the whole day, then the following night, you have to pay before sunrise. If you're a Schir Laila, you have the whole day to pay till sunset till Shkia. If you work Laila and Yoim and you finish in the middle of the Yoim, you have to pay before the ending of that Yoim. Kitzer, whenever you finish the malach, even if it's a long term, working for a week, for a month, for a year, and you finish in the middle of the day, before Shkia that day, you have to pay out. If you finish in the middle of the night, before that night, you don't even have a whole full 12-hour period. And if someone's working for an hour or two or less, also that day, before Shkia.
Keep out of tell the workers agreement, I pay you after 2 weeks.
That's okay. Not, yeah. You're allowed to make a tonight. If he agrees. If he agrees, you're allowed to.
It's not Baldacha. You say at the beginning.
Right? Yeah.
You have to say it in the beginning.
Yeah, you have to say it in the beginning.
Then at the soil, you get paid after 30 days. Once a month.
So, we also learned another din in Sifin Gimel. We learned that if this din of the Isser about Talin is also regarding not only hiring an employee, but a kabbalah, someone that you give something to do, you contract him. It's not that you're paying him per hour, per job. That's a kabbalah. Kabbalah means you mekabel on yourself the job. Lashon kabbalanus, mekabel, that he was acceptance of the job. It's not that you're taking directives every second. You take the thing and I'm going to bring it back to you. You pay per job, not per hour per day. Same thing, same halacha Baal Talon applies. However, the Alter Rebbe pointed out that if the Uman did not yet give back to you, you did not come to pick up yet your keli, your item that he was fixing for you, or cleaning for you, whatever he did, you don't have a chiyuv to pay. You're not over Baal Talon because he's still holding on to your keli. Even though he told you it's ready, come pick it up. If you didn't pick it up yet, you're not over Baal Talon.
Question. If I take a cabinet, I have a job for 2 months. The cabinet take workers. He has to pay the worker Baftalin or not?
He has a chiyuv.
It's
his
cabinet,
chiyuv.
not the
Not yeah. You have nothing to do with the workers. They have no time on you.
It's on the cabinet.
You never hired them. Yeah. But he has to pay them on time. Now, from here we learn out, Alter points out that if someone gives a mashkin, someone said, he worked for him, he owes him, and he gives him a mashkin that I'm going to pay you, you're not over about telling. Because since he has his mashkin by him, he has that worth of the value, it's not a problem. Now, Bichlal, if you don't have money, you're not over. If you don't have money, you're not over. You're not mechuyev to go sell items in your home. You don't have to sell your table, your chair to pay for it.
You only have a matan. If you have the money, you don't pay it.
Yeah. If you don't have cash, you don't have money, you have to, that you're not over about telling. You have to pay. If you're not over about telling, you'll pay when you have cash. If you dalid,
Isn't the whole thing has some of it?
so you have to pay whatever you have. The Mishabruda says, not a Mishabruda, in Avos Chesed, we don't have a Mishabruda in Efesh Mishpat, that every dollar, it's on every part of the money. Pay whatever you're able to pay. Whatever you can't pay, you can't pay. Now, further, we learned in Sifya Dalit that the Isser Bal Tolan is only the first morning or the first evening, whenever you were supposed
One
to.
time, you even and that's it.
Now, if for some reason you didn't have to pay, you had a reason why not to pay the first morning, let's say you didn't have. I'm now not over, if I didn't pay the next morning, I'm not over Bal Tolan, because that Loisa said we already went past that deadline. Now there's something else. Midivrei Kabbalah. Midivrei Nevi'im called the lav about Tasha, not to delay. We learn it out from the pasuk in Mishlei. It says, "Al toimer l'ri'acha leich v'shuv u'macher eten v'yesh itcha." You have, and you tell him, "Macher, I'll give." We learn from the Nevi'im that there's an ism midivrei Kabbalah. So anytime after the Boiker edition, you push him off, you over on the Aveda about Tasha.
Only if you have.
Only if you have. Furthermore, we learned also that because there's a difference between Baal Tasha and Baal Tolan. Midiraisa and Midiraban. Midiraisa, if you have money, and he comes and he asks for money, and you're busy right then, you have a meeting, an appointment, you say, I'm busy now, I want to do other things first. I want to take care of these things first, and then I'll pay you. You don't have that right. The morning's going to come by. You have to make sure by that, but by so just because you're busy, this takes precedence. You have to first deal with this, and then that when it comes to Baal Tolan. You can't say you're taught of it. However, if you somehow bypass the Baal Tolan the deraisa, it's no longer the first morning, because let's say you didn't have money. Now you have money, you have a chiyuv to pay. But he comes and asks you money, but now I'm busy doing something. Now, the Aveda we're discussing is Baal Tasha. It's V'divei Kabbalah, it's a lower Madrega. Therefore, you're allowed to push that off, say, Tarat Ve'in Le'panai.
That's the real target, not the.
Yeah, obviously all these things is real, not fake. He can tell the guy he's Tarat, but that's, he's over. He's the over. You know for yourself that you're being over on the Baal Tasha if you do that. Okay, we're holding Sift as well. Ein Balabayis over Mishum Baal Tolin or V'leitave El Hashemesh Elim Kain Tava Hasachir Schari Mimenu V'yesh Le'moisit Le'venasalei. Well, two things. He was Teveya, he asked for the money, and you had the money. Up if loy tavai asachir, oy shetavai ve'ein loy moisit loy. Afilu yeshem matat l'hab. I have many things, items in my home. I own a car. I own a lot of material items. Oy shimcho etzel chanvani. Oy shechani. Or he told him that the store owner will pay you up. Or the money exchanger will pay you up. It's called a shechani. He sat by a table exchanging money for different denominations. So go to him, he has money, he'll pay you for you. Vikibel all of the Sacher accepted that option. That I won't be paid directly, I'm going to get it from someone else, the money. Kibel v'likuloi, any over, all those cases. He was not teveya. Ein loy. He sent him to Chenvani. And he was masking. Any over shemaloi salam pula safer itzcha. Says the Braisa, itzcha l'daitcha.
They're writing a check. Telling the guy to go to the bank to get the money.
Right. So that's what he sent him to the Chenvani. Only, yeah. Yeah, the only thing is that he has to be able to deposit it right away. Can't be a post-dated check.
Right.
Because then it's going to bypass the time.
Well, it's masking also.
Right. Yeah, if he's masking the post-dated check, then fine. He sees it's post-dated and he accepts it.
I guess there was no cash. No, there's no checks. So
If he told him, I can't pay you now, right? I don't know if we mentioned this last week. There are some that wanted to tell you that a check is not money.
Right. Exactly.
Well, the Meister of Moshe Sternbach writes check is, I think it's Moshe Sternbach. He says check is money.
Cash.
Everyone accepts check. Check is normal payment method. So you can't time that there's something wrong with paying by check. It's normal payment. Some people's checks even go all around town. Checks continue going around. So you can't time it. If he posted a check and you're not happy about it, that's a problem. And today it became even better because now with the online systems, many banks accept the check right away. They honor the check. The big banks honor the check right away without knowing if you have the money in it. You take a picture, and some of the banks, I'm not so sure, maybe it's not an online difference what bank it is. It's even whether you go in person also. Go to a small bank, they might tell you have to wait 3 to 5 days to get your.
When people pay me,
you're going to Chase
with the check. I take a picture, I deposit it in the spot.
And it enters your account right away. Okay, so what bank do you have? Yeah,
What bank?
Okay, because the small banks still have the old system, a lot of them, where it can take 3 to 5 days till it clears.
Yeah.
The bigger banks, maybe like a day, overnight or something.
Interesting.
How long you had to wait to clear, like longer. But if you have a good bank, today they'll honor it. They'll honor it right away. So there it's mamish,
It's like cash.
Yeah.
And the state check has to be cleared within 24 hours. The law.
State check.
Yeah, local bank. That's
if it's written from the state.
Yeah, they're in the same bank in the same state.
Oh, the same bank in the same state.
No, same. If you're banking within the same state, like if I'm writing a check I'm in New York and you go to New York Bank, it has to clear. Both banks
even if they're different banks.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always. It used to always be.
No, it's a new law.
It's a new law.
Yeah. Within 24 hours.
It just came out this law this year.
Yeah. It has to clear within 24 hours.
Wow. Wow.
Right.
You're saying a new rule now. You're not allowed a bank, the same state, one bank to another bank, the check. They have to legally accept it for 24 hours. I mean, it could be a loss for them.
No. Because the bank's guaranteed the check.
Wow.
If they don't.
And for the bank, so
even if the guy has a balance check, you say, because they verified the check right away.
Are you saying that they made the system
made
that they're able to verify quicker? It's no longer delaying verification. Yeah, that's very interesting because we always grew up with the
5-day wait.
Yeah. 5 days.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they make money on you.
Last year I used to wait 3 to 5 days.
And they make money on you.
And then someone told me you have to move you have to open another bank account somewhere else and get it quick.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, we're in the middle of this Sif Tezvav. Shemali Salins Pulasachi Itcha. Itcha means with you, Ladaitcha. It's you on your own are holding it back. But if the Sachir is also his das that you could hold it back,
He doesn't ask for his money.
Sheni Taivai, and also Schari Itcha, Sheyesh Itcha Schari. It has to be the Salam Pulasachi Itcha. You have it with you.
Not that you own stuff.
If you don't have cash, it's not called Itcha. The Schari Umayis of Metalton, which is Rabbi Chasava. Money, the schar is money, not Metalton. So you're not mechuyev to sell Metalton. It's not called Yeshloi if you have Metalton. Itcha, V'loi shemcho cheo etzel chamani shulchani. The Brais learns out that it's when you have the money, but if you that you're holding the money, but if you send him to the chamvani or the shulchani, it's okay, and he accepts it. Shekvarna stalik miitcha, because now he's no longer the money. You sent him to the money there. The gam hey meanim oivim she'enis. But what happens if the chamvani doesn't pay on time to him? Now the chamvani, you called up the chamvani. You told him, you owe me money. I want you to pay up to this person that I am my worker. What happens if he is masking, but Lapayil, he doesn't pay him on time?
So the Chavani should have
So once you did this,
only if it's you or the one.
He never hired him. So he can't be over and Baltolim. Sifta Zayin. Ima Sochir Makir Babalabayis. Shein Dark Elis Biadi Mois, Elvim Mashuk. Any over Allah. He knows when the money comes. It's a certain day. Yom Hashuk. That's in the Balabayis pays. Afilu Yeshlin Mois. The Balabayis is not over. Sheminastam Nisker Etzle Al Das Kain. Shalo Yifreenu Ad Yom Hashuk. Yom Hashuk Be'elach Imeni Noisloi. He doesn't pay him up then. Umechavel L'tchoisoi. Oy Mishom Al Toimel Ri'acha. We're going there. You're over on the lab about Tasha. Of the Divrei Kabbalah of Al Toimer. Like we explained earlier, you're only over Baal Talmud the first Beit Kedushin. But over here, Lamaisa, he knows you don't pay by the Beit Kedushin. You pay in the Yom HaShuk. So you when you were hired by him, that was the premise. That premise you were hired. So Baal Talmud wasn't Negeya, the Beit Kedushin. Now, if he doesn't pay afterwards, from the Yom HaShuk and on, the Balabayit is not paying and he has the money, he's no longer over on the Derais anymore, because this man, the Derais, went past. And he went past it legitimately, because he went for the Yom HaShuk. He pays by the Yom HaShuk, so he was allowed to go past the Beit Kedushin. But now that the Beit Kedushin he went past, if he didn't pay him from the Yom HaShuk V'Hala, he's not even the Derais anymore. It's even Al Toimer L'Irach Aleich L'Shuk. V'chein ois v'shin dark in the Froya and the Payel and the ending of Sitta Zayin at Shiyasu Cheshben Imohim. And if over Ma'adach HaCheshben. He didn't make a Cheshben. Let's say you didn't make up L'Chatchila before what the price is. His derech was, after you do the job, works it out with you. Which is the best idea.
We do all the time, like programmers, they don't know how long it takes them to write a software. After the invoice, they look at the
Messiah,
okay.
If they trust the guy.
So then, until the cheshbon comes out, you're not mechuyev to pay. Einim over mad achar cheshbon. And if the cheshbon is it's after the Beit Kedushin, now you're no longer over on Baal anymore. If you push him off any more after the cheshbon, it'll be Baal Tasha.
But not Bantan.
Afilu tava mehem davar muat shevadim ekielahem. Kivin shiyudu shadarkim kain. I'll ask in the Skretzel. even if it's not a large amount. He didn't ask, not asking for a large amount of money. It was a small job. So there's no question. Meaning, no, I'm sorry. Let's say the job, they didn't make a cheshbon how much it costs, but we know the cheshbon's between 500 and 1,000 somewhere. They have to sit down and work out the cheshbon. But it's definitely, for sure,
$100, let's say.
$500, for sure $500.
Right.
The sucker could say, pay me up 500. That's for sure.
At least we know for sure.
The rest,
We'll talk after.
we'll talk after. No, he's not mechuyev to pay that up. He's not over Baltolim because that's not the way they work. The derech is to pay after you make the cheshbon. If that's the derech, that you were hired on an ask came, that you get paid together in one lump sum. You can't force the balabayis to do it before, to do part. If you made up with him, good. But if you didn't, Sifyud Zayin, Oimer l'shlucha say umchschar li payalin. Someone told his messenger, go and hire me employees. And he hired for him. And he told them, who's going to pay you? Scharchem al-balabayis. Shneim einim oivim bal-talim b'leitavei. Not over on either of the isurim. Zeh lefi scharim. The balabayis, he didn't hire them. They went to a shliach. Is that the shliach shein sfarim alav? It's not his job. Scharchem al-balabayis. It's like the Chavani case. Said to the Chavani, if the Chavani doesn't pay on time, he's not over, and he's also not over because he went to the Chavani.
That is Ukas. No, but you don't say shliach
שלוחו של אדם כמותו.
but not for Baltorin.
I hear. Good Shiloh.
So it's
You're acting as an agent.
I hear. I know the answer to that question. But think about it.
Tell us that you do Baltorin, not your workers, not you.
Agent was a guy there. So if the guy never told him, he's not making a shit that this one.
Can't swat it. Can't be chayiv the balabas late Baltolin if he himself didn't do it. It wasn't direct. It was Aveda. Even though Ba'etzim the hiring wasn't an Aveda. The Aveda happened later. Yeah, you have to think about it.
Only when time to get paid.
Ela Amar lahem shababayis itluhem. He said the balabais is going to pay. So it's not his. Mikol mokim balabais oiv mishum al taim le'achoi mechaben l'tchoisom. Oh, it's still problematic. Mitzad al taim le'acho. Mitzad the isu medivnei kabbalah bal kasha.
Go and come.
So then, even though it was ayidei shliach, that you could be in. The isu min Torah goes away, but it's still isu min Rabbanan. But remember, isu min Rabbanan is only in a case when it was intentional, not that he's tarut. In mechaben l'tchoisam. V'im scharam stam. If the shliach hired them stam, v'loy omer lahem skacham bayis. Not say the words. Do not say that you're the balabais is hiring you. He hired them. He didn't tell them the balabais is hiring them. Then who chayiv is chayiv? The shliach now. You hired them. You didn't say that. So you're the one chayiv in Baltolim. You taka did hire them. It's your responsibility. But who over Baltolim v'leitavei? Elam kain apel yoidim shein malchus shalosh. If the workers know this guy is an agent for this person, if he came to us, he's coming with that guy, that balabayis, so they know. So that's ki'ilu, he said befedish scharchem al balabayis. But if they don't know, then you're the one responsible to pay up. It's your fault. Yidei le'achachamim hayunayigin lisker paylim ayidei shliach. Yidei le'achachamim would be noyig the higher workers with shliach. Shiyom is chachmal bayis. Why? The shivayu lavar loisasem yutrudim leilim pnai lepoyim bizmana. The Gemara records it's all in the Gemara Bava Metzia, Daf Kufiyat Aleph. That's where the sugi is. That there were Chachamim that they dafke did this. They didn't want to be over on an Islam and Torah, on Baal Talmud. So they used to hire through a shliach. Baal Tasha, the Chas v'Shalom not going to be over on a Baal Tasha either. They were not going to be. They were not Chas v'Shalom going to be pushed someone off. Their worry was that maybe he's going to come to get money. Don't tell me very busy then. I'm going to tell you, oh, call me later. Come back to me later. By that time it comes, it hits Shkia or it hits thing right away over the licensor. So if they hired the shliach, there's no Baal Tola. Baal Tasha, we're talking about in a case he was tarud. He was not mechaven the tchoisa.
Right.
It wasn't intentional. It was unintentional. If it's unintentional, there's no Baal Tasha. Now they weren't trying to do this to get away. Chas v'Shalom were paying
To save himself.
this man. They were. It's not like a loophole that they're trying to get away with something. They were fakir. They were worried that they would be over an aveda. So they retarded. They won't chapsich, and they're going to say it. If you can't hire them through a shliach, you don't have someone who's willing to go in between you. Best to make up a tanai, a condition, with the worker that I'm not mechuyev to pay you on time. I want to make up clear with you, like if I don't pay you right away, and if he agrees to that, I'm not going to pay you that morning or that evening, he's not over. Because the Socher accepted tonight, call tonight, Shem Mamin, claim anytime you make a condition, something that says in the Torah, and it's a monetary related issue, the Tanai is Kayan, it's a good condition. Because maybe why should he make this condition? Because maybe you'll be busy and you won't realize, like we said earlier, or
He's not going to have.
maybe you won't have a lot of money. You're going to be a little tight. You'll have. If you don't have, you're not over, by the way. You're going to have, but you're not going to have berevach.
Right now, I can't pay it.
You're not going to have berevach, and you're going to want that money to use for something else that you want what you feel is more pressing issue. And you're not going to be tzarich lo yitziyam. You're going to need to use them for another expense. And you're going to end up not paying back the worker. You didn't intentionally do it. But unintentionally, you'll either be busy, or you won't have so much money, and you're going to want to use for another expense, and you're not going to pay him first, and you're going to be over this month. So better to make it tonight, call them the stuff here, that I'm not going to be paying this month. Now, even the case where you have no money at all, not just you don't have money bereva, you don't have money at all, which in that case you're not over about Tolan because you have no money, so you don't need to make it tonight. Even though we said earlier that one of the if you don't have money, you don't have to pay. You don't have money. It is a midas sidis to borrow money.
You don't have to, but if you do it,
Yes, it comes from that result. And midas sidis that you should borrow money in order to pay up the sachir bismanai. However, when you do make a tanai with him, it's different. So he's explaining what is the milo of making up before that you're not going to pay right away because of three situations that could come up. Could I to make it tonight? Number one, he might come to you for payment right away, and you might inadvertently not chapsich. You're going to tell him I'm busy now. It's a very common instinctive thing which could happen. and you'd be over Baltolim. So make it tonight, koidim that I'm not paying Bisman. Number two, it could be you'll have money, but you won't have a lot of money. You have only money but simsum, and you're going to need to use it for another expense, pressing expense, and inadvertently you're not going to pay on time. Another reason why it's kedai to make a tanai with the safir. And a third point, he says, even if you take will not have any money, and if you don't have any money, you're 100% legitimate reason not to pay bisman. I don't have. Since that Rizal says is a midas sidus, still an all to borrow money and pay. So I'm going to be over on the midas sidus of that Rizal. The Rizal was megalata, so this is to borrow. But if I made that tonight with the sachir, I'm not over on that midas sidus either. So it helps you even in a case where it was 100% legitimate that I don't need to pay him, that I shouldn't be over, and that I'm not considered that I didn't do anything sinus because I made it tonight with him. So l'chatchila, I set up the time for your later date. However, he says, even so, in a case where you made it tonight and l'poil, you have the ability to pay. You could say, I made it tonight with you, and therefore even now he has money, he's not before you to pay, because he can stick to the tonight. Right? After became yuchol afraid bizmani type the party. Velismech al tonight ki oni hu ve'elu neises nafshay. Lamaisa, even if you made it tonight, if you do have money, it's better.
This also made the chassidus. You make the night that you should not even, but nevertheless, there's pain time. It's very clean. Yeah.
No, by the way, the midas sidus was in a case where you won't, that you have to borrow, you won't have it all.
Right.
Over here, in yuchol afraid bizmani. Lamaisa, if you have money, you made it tonight with it. Because you were concerned that maybe some possible situation will come up that you might be over. So I made you up, I'm paying you in a week from now. I'm not paying you tomorrow. Now, there happens to be Lamaisa, none of these problems propped up. None of these issues propped up. I have money. I'm not busy. I'm able to pay. Minadin, he does not know. Once you made that tonight, you don't have to pay him up. You made that condition already as a safeguard. Once you did it, you can pay him in a week. You have no chiv to pay, like people do today. People know when the date is, when you're going to be paid, when payroll is, when the paycheck comes in. You're not mechuyev to pay early. If yuchel afraid bizmanei, toiv the party, but listen me tonight. Ki oni who, if you're dealing with an oni, the elu who knows his nafshe, he needs the money. Toiv to not rely on the tonight. What happens if the oni says to you, could you just hold on to it? Hold on to it for money. Toiv the party tchilu bismani. It's best to pay him right away in zman.
Not to hold the money. Not
to hold the money. Im yochel, if you have the money. The yachs of Yikim and take it back from him.
Like,
I'll hold it on to you.
I did my part.
I paid you.
Now
I'm holding on to it as a loan.
I'm doing you a favor.
I borrowed from you.
No, I'm doing you a favor watching your money now.
Yeah, watching your money. Because now I'm finished with the whole idea about telling is over.
Right.
I paid you already. How's the issue about you made a deposit? When you get your deposit back? If the Ani is not asking him to hold on to it, you feel that so the community salva. The Ani doesn't want to give it to you as a pekadin, doesn't need it. You can ask him if you want that money back because you need the money. Yeah, you need the money. The Balabayas needs the money to make other deals or other payments. but the time didn't come up yet where he owes it. But he has money. He can give it to the ani,
right?
and then he could take it back from the ani, b'teiras halva,
Right.
borrowing the money. First pay him.
So you finish the deal.
Now you take it back as a loan. I owe you money as a loan. I borrowed money from you. Ich habe schon gezahlt, but I. It's the me. We have a meeting.
It's very complicated.
One.
Someone's coming. We need two, yeah? No, we one. That's another halacha. Hamayvir chavis mimakim l'makim.
A mover.
B'schar. V'nishbra b'pshiyasei. He was negligent. He was running more than he should have. Shahala b'makim ru'ua v'niskal. He went to a place that was not good to walk, and he tripped over there. Chol kayetza be'inyin shechayiv l'shal minadin. Minadin, this person is chayiv to pay. Mitzvah balabayis likot lahachnis ina lefrim mishuras adin v'limcheloi shenemar laman telach v'derech toivim.
Why should he lose the balabais?
What's the case here? Who's running? What's explain what? Has a minasivis.
Who's running what?
The worker
Yeah.
wasn't careful.
The delivery guy.
Delivery guy, the mover, wasn't careful,
I had the mover didn't
and
tell the way it's
he
supposed to.
broke something. Right?
It happened all the time in the
He
movie.
didn't intentionally break, but he wasn't careful. And minadin, he has to pay you. The mitzvah of Albai is to go to Flim Mishuras Hadin into Moichelim. Vim Anihu, Ve'ein Loi Ma Yoichel, Mitzvah Litin Loi Schare. To pay him, not only that he ruined your item,
It's still
that you're not going to pay him, that's not the mitzvah. But not to mechayiv him.
damage you.
If he's an ani, pay him for the bad job that he did.
You can fire him also.
He's fired for the future.
Right.
Shem Orich Tzadikim Tishmar, V'zuhi Orich Tzadikim Lishmer Derech Hashem, Tzok Mishnah Fli Mishnah. It's not a chiminat. There's no din Torah about them. This is up to the balabais.
I have it all the time. Workers mess up, and I pay them anyways. And then the next time they do the job, they do it more loyal because they feel like, you pay me. Yeah. And they feel
It's a way to be a more controlling.
they feel much more dedicated.
You give them a speech like I'm going to
No.
pay you
No,
anyway.
no speech. No speech.
Nothing, you don't say
They
anything.
know what they did wrong. They know.
And you see it.
Yeah, they see it.
And they're more careful.
They're more careful. They're also more loyal. They're more
They
honest.
feel,
they feel like they're
Learn from mistakes.
yeah. And
Why
the
does
big
it
picture,
say
they find out.
Chavitz?
know, my life.
One, actually. Why the
Shemen, Yayin.
something?
Listen, all these things about the balabayis, but what about the pile? He can do whatever he wants. Sivcha. Kederek shebalabayis muzah sheligzos kara oni, v'lo la'achrei, you should not steal it, and not to delay it. Kacha oni muzah shelo yevatam alech balabayis.
That's a very hard thing to do.
Yevatam ma'at kan, or ma'at kan. A little here, a little here. Or moitzi kol hayim mirma. The whole day he plays games. El chayiv l'daktik alasim mizman. Sharei ikpidu chafam ha'bracha revi'i shebechsamazin shelevorchu oyis ha'poilim shembitum alat shalbayis. The bracha ha'toiv ha'meitiv. Shulchan Aruch is dinim about this. That when at times poilim are not chayiv to say it because you have to go back to work. V'chein chayiv lave b'chol koichei. Not to waste time, but not only quantitative, but also quality. V'chol koichei. Sheyakiv atzadik Amar ki b'chol koichi avadati savichem. He worked very hard for Lavan. The ficha natal skare ap elam hazeh shemer yifres ish ma'oid ma'oid. The ficha ein apoyel ashay lasis malacha balayla. Well, has gatzim b'yoyim. You can't do night and day. V'chein ein adam ashay lasis malacha bebehemte balayla. Let's give b'yoyim. At night you work your animal. by day you'll rent it out in the Behemoth Shvach. Vein apoy rashay lahariv or l'sakim atzmoi. You can't do segufim and private hanesim. Shem machlosh koichim v'liyuchol asis malachas balabayis b'koyach. V'chein a malamet tzorch liyis nizer b'chol zeh. A malamet has to be careful. Vein also liyis neir balayla yosim nedai. V'shiyeh otzel b'yoyim. For the mudei, he'll be lazy by day because he's tired. He also can't eat a lot. Shamaychel maybe hashina vatzala. Eat a very good breakfast, a heavy breakfast. The lamb is not going to be. But also lasik b'shum malacha acheres im halimut. Can't do two things at once. Chen hamoishiv chaveri b'chanus. Also lasik b'malacha b'chanus she'ein einam ala chanus. Someone gives him a store to watch. While he's in the store, he also does some other job there. He's on his computer, on his phone, he does another job.
Are you allowed to use the phone?
Oh, you're not watching the...
When you work for someone.
And
You're
Donald
allowed
Trump
to
came
answer
to
the phone?
to be a president. They found out so many people.
Atkan, by the way, for all these halachas about Talmud. The rest now goes into different dinner about when if someone breaks a contract and how does it work with hiring and payments and like that. When you break a contract in the middle. But these halachas about Talmud and about Tasha are these dinim over here. What you're asking when you have phone, this depends on all these things. Really depend on minhag hamakim. What are the deals, the contract? You know, these are the outline of Torah. But today, people have contracts. Whatever you make, tanoim you make, that's the din. If you sign a contract, you're mechuyev to the contract. So it's not, things have to be adapted today. What was the arrangement? What was the agreement made up? If they let you have your phone, they let you have your phone. I don't know. Do businesses make you put your phone in a locker? I don't think they make you do that.
Oh, in a banker? If you're a banker, let's see who's in the.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to have a phone again.
No?
Nope.
Might take pictures of accounts.
Whoever it is, you are taking people.
No banks have no phones. They keep them in a separate place.
Yeah.
Interesting. No locker.
When I was by Mendy's, they said they cannot answer the phone. Only when you're in the break.
Really?
Because people every minute,
So with the cell phones and the smartphones and the internet, I know that I think there's a lot of companies that they're putting filters on their computers. They should only go to work related things. They'll be sitting there surfing and who knows what, and then they're supposed to be focused on the job.
When Donald Trump came to be president, they found out a couple hundred people because of COVID in the house. The government people that work from the house, no problem. But they found out all of them has another job. He said, you think your job and after 1 hour? Fire like 2,000 people.
How did he find out that
this guy that they had the car,
how did he find out they had a second job?
Because how you paying tax? When you pay tax, you have to pay.
Now that he was in the government?
Yeah.
He figured it out?
Yeah.
Meister Shahaya that he used
just
out.
Now, he found about 2,000 people. He fired.
Just now he fired after he left the government. So he was he was marviach from being in the government.
I have people that work for me from home also. They take other jobs. You could tell if somebody working for you full time or.
So you see, it's not so pashut. We have a lot of things kindness in the lalabatim, but there's kindness in the workers too. People, it's not they have to be loyal to the job. We all have to be more careful with our own personal avodah. Making sure we do what we're supposed to do.
Many years ago, he used to punch a
It's
car.
interesting. Yaakov, we always call Yaakov Avinu. In the Lashon of Yaakov Hatzadik. This was
He said the way he walk.
Yeah.
Many years ago, they used to. You come to work, you punch a car. Go home, you punch a car. And at the end of the week, they calculate. So I had a baby and I have to leave. So I go to the supervisor and I says, I had a baby and I have to leave. So, whatever, give me permission. I said, don't worry, go home, I'll punch your car at 5 o'clock. Yeah. I was like, no. I'm going home and punch the car now. I don't need your favors. You're helping me to sleep. But the guy want to make me a favor. But you said, what's a Jewish boss?
Someone told me years ago that some of these kosher filter
you're
companies
crazy. You need the money.
actually have services that they provide for businesses to filter their computers to keep the workers focused. Okay, thank you for joining.
Very, very interesting.